What's going on, guys? It's Free Reign Gaming and welcome to some Overwatch. I'm going to be showing you how to play some characters so you can better improve yourself for once the game fully launches. I'm going to start off with the tanks, and I'm going to start off with Reinhardt because this is probably one of the most popular tanks to be playing right now currently. Reinhardt is kind of a melee ranged hybrid. His melee attacks, of course, are just regular old melees with his hammer, which actually surprisingly do a decent amount of damage. What the hell was that? Oh, with just a decent amount of damage, surprisingly. And then you have his ranged, like, I guess you could say, like, poke attack. I guess you could call it that. And if you don't know what poking means, it's like you're attacking your enemy, but you're only doing it just to kind of like get them off your back, like get them off you a little bit. You're not really doing much damage to kill them, but more or less just tell them to fuck off pretty much. And that's what this is right here. But even then, it does a decent amount of damage depending on the hero that you're facing against. Now these of course are training bots, so they're pretty easy to kill. But this is still good representation of what kind of poke you can do. Of course it does a little bit of less damage at range, but this attack goes pretty far. But as soon as it hits some kind of collision, it will stop. Any kind of environment, solid environment, it will stop. For instance, let's see how much damage to do this guy. Well, this guy's kind of in a way, but it probably did about 3 or 4 little blips of damage, which is decent. For a tank, that's a good amount of damage. Now, Reinhardt, his base, pretty much his bread and butter is his shield. As you can see there, he has 2,000 hit points on his shield. That's still a lot of damage to be taken, but be warned, if you get focused, this will drop down pretty fucking quickly. Especially when you're going against something like a Bastion or something with like a high DPS type of attack. So Tracer, Bastion, hell, even McCree could probably bring down your shield pretty quick. So your main focus as a tank is pretty much to draw fire for your team and cover them. That's pretty much what you're supposed to do as a tank. That's what any kind of MOBA, any kind of game that has a like role-playing game is. That's what all tanks have always been. Now, with Reinhardt, it's kind of different considering you kind of have to be close to your friendlies and or enemies if you want to do decent damage. The only exception, of course, is this little range attack here. So playing Reinhardt is one of the most rewarding but also high risk type of champions. I'm just gonna call them champions because I come from League of Legends, but they're called heroes. I'm gonna call them champions. So there's one of two things you can do as Reinhardt. You can play completely passively out of range, you know, just trying to cover for your team with your shield, and just poke at people, just poke at the enemy, make your enemies drop as much health as possible. Either they'll go waste a heal or they'll back off completely, giving your time for your friendlies to push up. That is what you can. That's one of the main roles as Reinhardt. Or you can go the semi-aggressive route and dish out more damage, push up more, and start whacking people pretty much. And the bread and butter from this type of playstyle is his charge ability, which is this. If it will it'll do one of two things. It will completely pin somebody, or it will knock somebody out. Not knock somebody out, but like knock them away. If you're pretty much directly in front of the enemy, you will pin them almost every single time. If you're about, I don't know, about this far off of them, he will be knocked back, and you can knock people off the map doing that. And you can also do that if you pin them. But this kind of playstyle, you really have to time out your abilities pretty well. You see how I knocked them back? I didn't really hit them. You have to manage your cooldowns in order to play this kind of ability, and you also still have to keep pushing up your shield because it will block a lot of damage of giving your teammates time to push up, because they'll be trying to focus taking you down, which could let, I don't know, you have a Tracer flank from behind and take them out and stuff like that. Now his ultimate is it's not really AoE, it's more of a direct cone in front of you. What he does, he slams the ground and knocks pretty much enemies onto the ground for a certain period of time. I don't know how long it is. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. About 3.5 seconds it takes for them to get back up. And you can hit them. You can throw your little poke damage, and you will. And it's pretty easy to get kills doing that. Well, be wary. It has a kind of a wonky hitbox currently. Sometimes if you're directly in front of the person, it won't count. And I think you can dodge it by jumping. I'm pretty sure. I haven't completely tested that, but I will eventually. But yeah, that's really all the main. That's the main thing about Reinhardt is just make sure to keep your shields up, poke some damage here and there, and when the time comes, whack people and pin them if you can. Because if you can't pin them, you will still do damage to them, and your teammates can pretty much pick up the slack. So I'm probably gonna cut to some bot gameplay here in a bit. See you in a little. And we're back. All right. So I'm gonna show you how to do a little bit of how to play Reinhardt and a little bit of just against bots. It's bots. You don't really have to worry about it that much. But what you want to do is provide cover for your team and poke. Pretty much. If you're playing this the kind of passive version of Reinhardt, you can play sort of aggressively, but it's not really that recommended. Looks like it's payload. So this is a really good example of what Reinhardt could do on payload. You can stand on that payload and just have your shield up for pretty much forever. Sorry about that. But you can pretty much stay on that payload, and that payload will continue to heal you as you block damage. It will not regenerate your shields. Oh, you have a Bastion. Bastion is probably the number one person you wanna be on the lookout for when playing as Reinhardt, because he will melt your shield. Hello, people. Hello. How you doing? So when you start off, the thing you really want to do is pop up a shield. That's the first thing you want to do. Pretty much tank as much damage as possible. This is what you want to do. Just stay in front of your teammates. Do a little bit of poking, but pretty much mainly keep your shield up. Now, there are certain counters to Reinhardt. Reaper is a good counter to Reinhardt because you can get behind him and vulnerability, of course. Winston is a good counter to Reinhardt because his electricity gun can go through his shield. Can completely ignore his shield. So you want to be on the lookout for that. So if you see a Winston, be careful. Just keep your distance and try and keep away from pretty much your team. But like I said, see, you can just stand up here and hold this up all day. Do a little bit of poke. Smack some people. You see, you can still knock people to back. Right now, since I'm playing a bots, I'm kind of playing the aggressive style, which I typically don't recommend when playing against players because it will probably get you killed. But it can be done. Alright guys, so I have my ultimate up, and I'll show you what kind of damage it can do if we can hopefully get him grouped up a little bit. See, you can get decent. You can pretty much get decent damage. It wasn't technically a good ult, but I just wanted to show you what it could do. Like that was compared to what it would actually be doing in actual play perspective. What is going on my screen right now? That was a horrible ult. But what you really want to do is get them pretty much in a cone, about a cone in front of you, and hopefully pretty much knock them all down in one go. But Reinhardt isn't really difficult to use. He's pretty popular right now, which makes sense considering how diverse he can be. Like he can dish out some decent damage just for being as a tank. And you start off with 500 health, so you can take some damage. So Reinhardt is really it's the easiest of the tanks to play, I guess you could say. But he's also probably the most balanced. In my opinion, I think the best tank right now is Roadhog because he can heal himself. He can pull enemies to his teammates. Here we go. Also, note, your shield can block most ultimates. For instance, it can block Junkrat's Riptire. It can block D.Va's self-destruct. It can pretty much block anything. I don't think there is one that he can't block. I don't think so. No, the only one he can't block is Hanzo's ultimate. And and Genji. Alright, Zenyatta. But yeah, that's really all you gotta, that's really it for Reinhardt. He's pretty straightforward champion, just know what you can and can't do, what kind of role do you want to play. Do you want to play the more aggressive role? Do you want to play the more supportive role? He's really diverse, and it's pretty much up to you when you play. The efficient way is just to stay on the objective points, keep your shield up, keep your teammates alive, try and poke. That's really what you want to be doing as Reinhardt. See, now that was a good ultimate. So yeah, that's really all you gotta. That's not really about it. But Reinhardt, he has low cooldowns. It won't take much for his cooldowns to return. His ultimate's really good for crowd control. He's a really good beginner character. He's still probably one of the most popular ones currently. I think even more popular than Roadhog, which would probably be my next character to showcase if it was Bastion. So yeah, that's really all this is. That's all it's on Reinhardt. I'm just gonna finish this game real quick and work on another character. Come here, Zenyatta. Where you at? Oh yeah, the Lucio Reinhardt combo's insane. Bringing the shield you can get. Come here, piggy. That's one of the most satisfying way to kill somebody in this game. It's just to ram them against the wall. He's really fun to play. He just really is. And of course, this is just me trying to help you. I'm not saying you only have to play Reinhardt. It's up to personal preference, really. I think the most hardest tank to play right now is Zarya. Just because you pretty much have to put yourself out there in order to like get your abilities to be able to do anything. That's pretty much the only. That's the one thing that's rough for her. I still tend to don't want to play her, but once I get some time with her, I'll don't worry. Now that was a perfect example of a good Reinhardt ultimate. Beat up the payload. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this little how to play as video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe today for more, and tell me which other champions you want to see as long as this beta's out, and I will see you guys in the next video. How did I not get to play the game? Well, I'll see you guys next video. Peace.
All people have ever known.